Get ready to encounter the deepest mysteries of the human mind in this video. I will present the newest discoveries in psychology that will leave you absolutely astounded. Go on a mind-blowing adventure via the caverns of your own brain and those of others. Did you realize that your brain may be your greatest ally or your worst adversary? It all depends on how you utilize it. The human mind is a battleground where good and negative ideas, limiting beliefs and boundless potential collide. It's like a muscle. If you exercise it, it grows stronger and motivates you to accomplish your objectives. Yet if you overlook it, it might turn against you, destroying your efforts and causing worry, anxiety, and even disease. The option is in your hands. Will you transform your brain into a trusted ally that helps you to pleasure and success, or into an adversary that confines and sabotages you? Have you ever imagined having the potential to understand people so intimately that their thoughts and feelings would be as obvious as words put in a book? What if you may modify your own ideas and viewpoints to attain whatever objective you set for yourself? These talents, however they may appear like something out of science fiction, reflect the potential of the human intellect when it is investigated and evolved. We are not talking about magic, but rather plain science. The mind is a wide and complicated territory full of unlimited possibilities, exactly like a book that can be read and reinterpreted over and over again. Our mind may be probed and modified. Imagine having the capacity to discover and adjust the mental patterns that restrict you and foster those that propel you toward achievement. With experience and the correct tools, you may become the creator of your own tale. Let's start on a wonderful voyage with the various labyrinths of the human mind. With this voyage, we shall unveil the underlying systems that regulate our thoughts, emotions, and actions, demonstrating the intricacy and wonder that underlie our conscious awareness. How do the inner workings of our thoughts impact our judgments, relationships, and general well-being? Accompany me till the finish to explore together how psychology may help us better understand ourselves and others. Psychological fact number 1. Did you realize that others regard you as 20% more appealing than you view yourself? That's accurate. It's natural for us to underestimate our physical IQ. You are more gorgeous than you imagine yourself. Attraction research in psychology have showed that individuals tend to be more critical of our own looks than others. Although this inclination to undervalue yourself is not a negative thing, in reality, it might be an indication that we have good self-esteem and that we are continually striving to better by being more demanding of ourselves. We urge ourselves to take care of our health and well-being, which in the long run may enhance our confidence and personal pleasure. Suppose you're at a conference surrounded by people. Suddenly your eyes fall on someone who attracts your attention. She's not the most stunning person in the room by traditional beauty standards, yet she emanates unparalleled confidence and self-certainty. Her presence is mesmerizing and you wonder how she accomplishes it. The solution is simple but frequently missed. Real beauty goes much beyond physical looks. It's about how we present ourselves to the world. The confidence we portray in every encounter with individual who touches you so much tells you that genuine beauty consists in self-esteem, sincerity, and the freedom to be oneself without fear of other people's judgment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once remarked that it is not things that upset us, but our judgment of them, applying this to our self-image. We may claim that it is not our look that defines our beauty, but our perspective and attitude towards it. But how can we utilize this knowledge to enhance our life? Here are some practical recommendations. Practice self-acceptance. Instead of worrying about your defects, concentrate on your unique strengths. As Marcus Aurelius would advise, accept yourself as you are. Second, create inner confidence. Genuine confidence comes from inside work on your abilities and knowledge, and you will notice your confidence rise naturally. Third, pay attention to your posture. Maintain your head up and your shoulders back. Excellent posture. Not only provides you more confidence, it also helps you feel more safe. Fourth practice. Thanksgiving. Be glad for what you have, instead of moaning about what you lack. This Stoic attitude may fully modify your viewpoint. Now, we're not suggesting you should entirely disregard your looks. Taking care of oneself is crucial, but remember that it's just half of the equation, as psychologist Carl Rogers would argue. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself as I am, then I can changing. Thus, the genuine beauty of my friends stretches much beyond what we see in the mirror. It is a mix of self-confidence, a good attitude, and self-acceptance. So next time you look in the mirror, realize that you are 20% more gorgeous than you believe, and that's simply the starting psychological truth. Number 2, have you ever pondered how a simple smile may brighten your day? Get ready, since we are going to learn the hidden power behind this simple but powerful gesture. Imagine you are walking distractedly along the street, lost in your own world, when an unexpected grin crosses your path. It was like a beam of light on a dreary day, a simple but meaningful gesture that bonded you with a stranger. Quickly it was as if a spark had kindled a flame within you, and before you know it, your lips curled into an equally infectious grin. That accidental meeting proved yet again the ability of emotions can be passed from one person to another without a second thought. Your face mirrored the same joy, indicating that empathy and human connection may grow in the most unexpected circumstances. But why does this happen? The solution lies in the intriguing work of Dr. Paul Eman, an American psychologist and pioneer in the study of emotions and their face expression. Eman altered our knowledge of emotions by proving that facial expressions are not mere, the forceful grin reflections of our sentiments, but operate as a feedback loop. That is, by adopting a specific facial expression may immediately impact our own emotional state. For example, smiling truly can boost our spirits. Even if we first feel sad, our brain builds a straight link between our facial expressions and our moods. When we smile, we send a signal to our body suggesting that we are feeling bliss, therefore sustaining that emotional state. It's as if our brain is telling us, I'm smiling, so I must be happy, wonderful, right? How about we commit 5 minutes to a simple yet effective practice? Smile, but not for anybody else, but for yourself, so that you can experience the impact of smiling. Grin. It doesn't matter whether you feel happy or not. Simply maintain that smiling smile on your face. You will notice changes in your mood, and it's not magic, it's science. A grin, a balm for the soul. Even when unpleasant sentiments amaze us, the simple act of smiling may initiate a chain reaction of advantages for our well-being. Research has demonstrated that smiling, whether real or artificial, stimulates brain networks connected with pleasure, lowering stress and promoting pleasant feelings. By preserving a grin on our face, we are sending messages to our brain that in turn impact our mood. It is as if we are teaching our brain to be more hopeful, and the consequences are unexpected. When we smile, our brain produces a cocktail of chemicals such as dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. These natural chemicals help us feel happy and more relaxed. It's like a small spa for your brain, all owing to shifting a few facial muscles. Thus, next time you feel unhappy, don't hesitate to grin. Your body and mind will appreciate you, but that's not all. Smiling also has a contagious impact. When you smile at someone, it's extremely possible that they will smile back at you. It's like creating a chain of good humor. Can you picture what the world would be like if everyone smiled a bit more? Now, this doesn't mean you should go around with a perpetual grin. The objective is to be conscious of the power of this simple gesture and utilize it to your advantage. When you have a job interview, grin before. Before you walk in, when you feel a bit depressed, try smiling in front of the mirror. And the greatest thing about this is that grin is entirely free and accessible, 24/7. You don't need a prescription or premium membership. Smiling is your unique superpower available to be employed at any moment. So whenever you find yourself in a tough position or simply want to make your day better, remember the hidden power of a smile. As the Stoic philosopher Epicurus would say, pleasure relies on ourselves. Emotional anchoring, and sometimes that enjoyment might begin with a simple grin. Psychological truth. Number 3. Have you ever pondered why we frequently miss the memories we have of someone more than the real person? Why is it that even after a relationship has ended, we frequently cling nostalgically to the best memories? It's as if our thoughts are toying with the brightest moments of the past. This fascinating psychological phenomena is as prevalent as it is, as we tend to idealize joyful memories and readily forget the reasons why a relationship ended. Our mind has an odd manner of operating. It is as if it has a filter that chooses and accentuates the most pleasant events of our encounters. These pleasant shards become pearls that we value, generating an idealized picture of the past. It is as if our mind seeks to shelter us from the anguish and agony of a loss, developing a type of emotional refuge where we may experience those happy memories again and over. Again, by idealizing memories, we quickly forget the reasons why the relationship ended, the struggles we had and the related bad emotions. This psychological phenomena, as ubiquitous as it is interesting, prompts us to focus on the nature of memory and the importance it plays in our life. Why do we find it so hard to let go of the past? How can we learn to accept the loss of a relationship and move on? In short, our predisposition to idealize recollections of a person rather than missing the person themselves is a defensive mechanism our mind utilizes to deal with loss. Nevertheless, it is vital to remember that memories are just half of the tale, and keeping on to them may impede us from going on and forming new relationships. Shut your eyes and let these surround you entirely. It's as if we're a time machine capable of taking you to unforgettable times in your life. Suddenly you find yourself engaged in a summer full of adventure and laughing, or experiencing the heart-pounding exhilaration of your first love. Each chord, each note, links you with sensations that you thought were lost, awakening a flood of nostalgia and delight. Does this sound familiar? It's what psychologists term emotional anchoring. It is the deep link between an external stimuli, such as a melody, and your mental condition at that exact instant, however, is not the only object that has this impression of magical power. It may also evoke vivid recollections. Who hasn't felt that a simple aroma transfers them to a certain period in their childhood? Suppose you're strolling along the street, when then a blast of wind carries with it the wonderful fragrance of freshly made cookies. At that moment, you feel like a kid again. You envision your grandmother's kitchen, the warmth of the oven, the fragrance of vanilla and butter that penetrates the air. You recall the thrill of waiting extremely patiently as cookies cooled on a rack, and the delight of eating that first taste. However, fragrances may lead us to many other locations. The perfume of freshly mowed grass reminds us of playing in the garden. The scent of ancient books takes us to a quiet library, and our mother's perfume makes us feel protected and cherished. These ancient manufacturing anchors are so strong that they highlight how our emotions are strongly tied to our senses. So you may be asking what all this has to do with how do we value memories compared to actual persons? It turns revealed that these emotional attachments might impact our actions more than we believe. Nostalgia can cause us to desire to reconnect with someone from the past without fully examining why that connection is no longer a part of our lives. Knowing these psychological pathways may be vital for our emotional well-being, aiding us discriminate between romanticized recollections and reality, helping us to make more mindful judgments regarding our present and future connection, ships. But be cautious, we are not suggesting that you should reject all your good feelings, psychology behind your clothing. On the contrary, these memories may be a useful source of learning and personal development. The key is to keep a balanced perspective by enjoying the wonderful moments of the past without being locked in an idealized version that no longer exists. And what about those tunes or aromas that take you to the past? Don't shun them. Utilize them as a tool to reflect on your own progress. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this event? How did it help me become who I am today? Essentially, our memories are like a mental picture book full of experiences caught at their finest. It's all right to admire them, but remember that real life is far deeper and more complicated than a simple snapshot. Frozen in time psychological truth number 4. Have you ever pondered how anything as simple as your attire may impact your attitude and how others see you get ready? Because we are going to explore the intriguing world of psychology behind your wardrobe every morning. As you open the doors of your wardrobe, you submerge yourself in a realm of possibilities. A kaleidoscope of colors, textures and designs spreads before you, encouraging you to produce a work creating art with your own body. The choice you make in those initial few minutes of your day is not only an aesthetic decision, but an act of self-expression that will resonate with your mood and how you view yourself. Every article of clothes we chose is a brushstroke on the canvas of our personality. Beyond mere appearance, the clothing we wear have a huge effect on our mentality. It's as if, when we dress, we are picking a specific mood. Selecting your morning clothes may be a type of ritual that sets the emotional tone for the rest of the day, just as an actor alters while putting on his character's unique outfit. We too undergo a psychological transformation when we get dressed. Did you realize that the proverb about dressing for success isn't merely a common saying? It's entirely backed up by scientific research, proving that the colors and designs we pick may have a direct influence on our emotional well-being. The choice of colors in our surroundings is not a coincidence. Our emotions and attitudes strongly impact the tints we like. For example, individuals going through phases of despair or depression are generally drawn to darker, duller hues, such as grey or black, which indicate their interior condition. In comparison, individuals full of vitality and excitement choose bright and happy hues, such as red. When someone is continually on your thoughts, yellow or orange, which communicate vitality and optimism. This relationship between color and emotion is a representation of how our brain absorbs visual information and relates it to our emotional experiences. But wait, there's more. Your choice of clothing not only affects how you feel, but also how others see you. It's as if your clothes are a silent language that transmits your attitude to the globe. Although we're not suggesting you should chuck away all your gloomy apparel, the key is to be conscious of the power of your wardrobe and utilize it to your advantage when you have a crucial job interview. Select colors that make you feel confident. If you need an energy boost, go for colorful hues. Psychological truth number 5. Have you ever felt that someone is always in your mind? It's like you're on a stage and this person is the main star. Don't worry, this occurrence is more frequent than you would realize and has profound roots in human psychology image. Your brain as a cinema theater, when a movie, or in this scenario, a person remains on the mark longer than planned. But what does it truly indicate when someone won't depart your thoughts? According to famous psychologist Carl Jung, this may signal that this individual symbolizes something vital in your unconscious. It's not that you're fascinated. Well, maybe a little, but your mind is attempting to tell you something. Maybe this person has features you secretly adore, or signify something that's lacking in your life, yet be cautious. Not everything is great in the world of persistent thoughts. Dr. Aaron Beck, the pioneer of cognitive therapy, cautions that sometimes these thoughts may be indicators of anxiety or even obsessive-compulsive disorder. It's like when you can't stop humming a catchy incorrect, but in the shape of a human now, if you are requiring aid because you want to get that person out of your thoughts and you can't, don't worry, take a big breath, because science has some solutions for you. A research from Harvard University says that when someone is continuously on your thoughts, it may be an indication that your brain is digesting vital information about that individual or your connection with them. It's like your mind is trying hard to solve an emotional riddle. However, here's the intriguing part. According to Dr. Helen Fisher, an anthropology and love specialist, if you're thinking about someone you're attracted to, you may be feeling the effects of dopamine, the joy and reward synapse. It's as if your brain has established an addiction to this individual, similar to the one we feel for chocolate. However, this connection goes beyond basic brain chemistry. It is a profound emotional attachment that binds you to that individual in a very unique manner. Sometimes repeatedly thinking about someone may be a sort of mental wander, particularly if that individual inspires you or drives you to be better. So what to do with all this? The next time you find yourself thinking about someone non-stop, instead of becoming upset, realize that your kind of hazardous person mind could be trying to tell you something essential. Maybe it's time to think on your thoughts, your objectives, or even areas of yourself that you wish to cultivate. Having repeated thoughts for someone is a frequent human experience. By understanding the reasoning behind these beliefs and implementing good coping methods, you may learn to control them more effectively. Psychological fact number 6. Suppose you are at a conference and you meet two persons. One appears powerful and determined, while the other seems timid and questioning. Who would you think more dangerous here? We might be mistaken, since it turns out that contrary to what many feel, a person with a poor character might be more harmful than someone with a strong character. How is this possible? The solution lies in predictability and self-control. Someone with a strong character typically has defined aims and definite judgments, making them more predictable and in some ways more trustworthy. They know what they seek and pursue a straight route. On the other hand, a weak-willed person may be like a package of surprises, and not always the most pleasant ones. The instability and unpredictability of someone with a poor character makes them less trustworthy. As the proverb says, beware of calm waters. These apparently innocent folks, straight to the point or take so many detours, may be concealing more than you think. But be cautious. This doesn't imply you should mistrust all introverts or shy individuals. For individuals, the goal is to monitor patterns of behavior and not be fooled by first impressions. Psychological fact number 7. Suppose you're at a party with friends and someone begins telling a tale. You observe how some folks go directly to the point, while others take so many diversions that you get lost along the route. It is no coincidence the way we use words speaks a lot about our personalities and surprise about our dependability. Those that say little but with precision are typically the most trustworthy. Why? Because they appreciate the power of words and grasp the weight of secrets. They are like locked safes that fiercely preserve the knowledge entrusted to them. On the other hand, people who can't stop talking divulge every detail and secret, frequently jeopardizing the trust of others without understanding it. But wait, there's more. Did you know that your words may also be impacted by your hormones? Yes, you heard properly in the example. Among men, low testosterone levels may impair not just their mood, but also their method of communicating testosterone. The hormone we connect with muscles and virility has a significant impact in our mental well-being. Current studies show demonstrated that as testosterone levels decline, the likelihood of depression rises. But don't worry, there are natural methods to counteract this, and the answer may surprise you: workout. And I'm not talks about running marathons, but about strength training, like lifting weights, performing push-ups or squats. These workouts not only develop your muscles, but also boost the production of testosterone and growth hormone. With a regular regimen of activities, you will enhance your physical fitness and mental well-being. And the greatest thing is that you don't need a costly gym to get started. You can do these. The interesting way our brain processes information: workouts at home, using simply your body weight. In addition to strengthening your muscles, you will be generating endorphins, the happy hormone. When you work out, you feel better, and it is shown in the way you connect with people. Recall that both men and women may advantage from these activities. It's not only about growing testosterone, but also about increasing your overall well-being. And when you feel good about yourself, it shows in your words and in how you connect to people. Thus, next time you're in a discussion, pay attention to your words. Are you the kind that says little but precisely, or the type who reveals every detail? And if you feel like you need a boost to your well-being, you know what to do: move your body. Psychological truth number 8. Pretend you're seeing a scary movie. Your pulse is beating and you feel a cold sweat running down your spine. Even though you know it's only a movie, your body responds as if you were in genuine danger. Why does this happen? The answer lies in the amazing way our brain absorbs information. It turns out that when we watch a movie, TV program, or play a video game, our brain doesn't completely grasp. It doesn't discriminate between fiction and reality. Yes, you heard correctly. Your brain feels the character's feelings as if they were your own. This phenomena explains why you feel so strongly engaged with people on reality TV programs, or why on-screen events may leave you with a knot in your throat. Brain is genuinely empathizing and feeling those emotions as if they were real. Yet this isn't simply a scientific curiosity. It has enormous ramifications for your everyday existence. The emotions you encounter, whether genuine or imaginary, immediately impact your emote state and personal resonance. It's as if every narrative you read leaves a trace on your mind. So what does this imply for you? Good. If you spend a lot of time reading information that creates negative emotions, such as hatred, wrath, anxiety, or irritation, you are matching your frequency with these bad feelings. And here is the intriguing half. This might invite more of the same into your life, producing a cycle of stress and negativity. And on the other hand, whether you chose stuff that inspires you, makes you laugh, or fills you with hope, you are fueling your mind with happy feelings. It's like sowing seeds of positivity in your mental garden. Now, we're not suggesting you should absolutely ignore any stuff that isn't pure pleasure and rainbows. The secret is to be careful and selective. Ask yourself, how do I feel after seeing this program? Does this movie leave me invigorated or emotionally depleted? To sustain an emotionally healthy and pleasant existence, it is necessary to achieve a balance between minimizing your exposure to emotionally. The relationship between a person and their pet, depleting material and concentrating on events that elevate you and make you feel wonderful. Recall that the quality of your emotions immediately affects the quality of your life. Therefore, the next time you sit down in front of a screen, view it as a chance to enrich your intellect. Choose wisely what you eat and make sure you take care of your emotional well-being. After all, your brain deserves it. It's consuming everything as if it were genuine psychological truth. Number 9. Having you ever noticed how your dog appears to understand your emotions better than other people? It's no accident that the connection between a person and their pet may be as profound as that between parents and children. Incredible, isn't it? Yes, science verifies that recent studies have revealed that when we lose a pet, the anguish may be as severe or even more severe than when we lose a family member. Yet why does this happen? The law of attraction in action solution resides in our brain. When we contact with our dogs, our body releases oxytocin, the same hormone that is produced when we embrace a loved one. This chemical relationship is so potent that it crosses language and species, borders. Psychological truth number 10. Have you ever felt that your ideas have the ability to create your reality? Get ready. You are about to delve into the interesting realm of the principle of attraction and the power of ideas. Assume for a second that your mind is like a gigantic magnet. Every thought you have is a signal sent out into the cosmos to attract similar events. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? But it's not magic. It's simply the way our thoughts work. Think about the last time you had a truly awful day. Have you noticed how one unpleasant thing appeared to lead to another until your entire day became a disaster? That's the law of attraction in action. But in reverse, the good news is that it also works in a positive manner. But be cautious. It's not simply about thinking positively and waiting for the magic to unfold. It's about altering your attention and being conscious of what you let into your mind. Did you know that your brain doesn't discriminate between imagination and reality? That's why it's vital to be cautious with the stuff you read. Think of it as a diet for your mind. Just as you take care of what you eat to keep your body healthy, you must take care of what you feed your head. This includes the movies you watch, the books you read, even the video games you play. I suggest an experiment for a week. Pay attention to your ideas and the information you consume. Do they make you feel happy, or do they pull you into negative emotional states? Journal about how you feel and watch how it impacts your mood and everyday experiences. Thus you realize that your ideas are powerful. Utilize your ideas carefully. Concentrate on what you want to accomplish. Picture it, put it down, and work consistently towards it. But don't forget to give your mind the pauses it requires. Psychological fact number 11. Did you know that phobias may be inherited via DNA? That's true. Your anxieties may be an unpleasant gift from your ancestors. Research on emotions have indicated that some anxieties may be handed on from parents to children up to the 4th generation. The great psychologist Ivan Pavlov, noted for his research with dogs, observed that conditioned reactions may be transmitted by the offspring of his subjects. Think that your fear of heights might be the echo of a painful event of your great-grandfather. But do not be disheartened. Remember that, although our worries have deep roots, we have the power to confront them and conquer them. What can we take from all this? That we are complicated creatures capable of developing intimate relationships with other animals, integrating in them into our perspective of the world and bearing the worries of previous generations, but also that we are resilient, capable of comprehending these connections and employing them for our own development. Psychological fact. Number 12. Suppose I offer you a miraculous medicine and tell you it would heal all your suffering. Phobias may be inherited. Astonishingly, that works. But here's the twist. What I gave you was simply a mint candy. The placebo effect is so potent that it has confounded scientists for years. It's as if our brain were a magician capable of misleading itself. And we're not talking about self-deception, but something far more intricate and fascinating. The prominent neurologist Fabrizio Benedetti, known as the Placebo King, has committed his career to uncovering this enigma. According to her studies, when we imagine that something can cure us, our brain produces hormones that help reduce pain or increase our mood. It's as if we have an internal pharmacy triggered by optimistic thoughts. The humorous problem is that the placebo effect works even when we know it's a placebo. It's as if our brain goes, "Yeah, fine, I know you're lying to me, but I'll believe it anyhow." A Harvard University research indicated that people with irritable bowel syndrome improved dramatically, even if they knew they were receiving placebos. Our brain is extremely awesome, yet not everything is great in the realm of placebos. There is also its evil brother. The Nobo effect it is. Comparable the dark side of the force, but in a psychological form. If you fear something will damage you, you may feel unpleasant impacts, even if it is absolutely innocuous. It is as if our bad ideas have the ability to damage our well-being. So what can we take from all this? That our mind is a double-edged sword. It may be our finest ally or our deadliest adversary. The next time you confront a struggle, remember that your brain has the potential to alter your reality, so why not give it a good push? Here's advice: next time you get a headache, instead of going to the pharmacy, try drinking a glass of water. Sure, that the placebo and the nocebo effect. It's the miraculous cure people who don't know. You could assume you have secret healing skills, and if not, at least you'll be better hydrated, which is also beneficial. Psychological truth number 13. Let's consider two gardens as an example. In one, the plants are like intrepid explorers, constantly seeking for the greatest method to adapt to their surroundings. Whether it's a blazing sun after a freezing frost, these plants grow deeper, roots, stronger leaves, or more colorful flowers to live and prosper. They are like masters of camouflage, shifting their look and behaviors to adapt into any location in the other garden. The plants seem to be trapped in time. Despite the attention they get, they do not change or transform. They are like ancient books, lovely, yet stagnant, unable to react to the difficulties of a continually changing world. Which would you choose? The good thing is that you may choose researcher Carol DWI, a prominent psychology specialist and professor from Stanford University, has spent most of her career to investigating the many ways in which individuals view their talents and abilities. Their findings suggest that there are two essential perspectives: those who think that their brains and abilities are unchanging characteristics, and those who feel that they can learn and enhance their abilities via work and continual learning. Individuals with a fixed mentality consider their talents as unalterable attributes carved in stone from birth. People feel that their skills and abilities are an intrinsic gift that cannot be cultivated or enhanced via effort. Hence, when confronted with failure, they tend to feel disheartened and think that they cannot overcome hurdles, as they perceive their limits as something permanent, and, whereas in contrast, persons with a growth mindset view setbacks as chances to learn and develop their immutable traits and acquire and strengthen talents. Philosophy is, I'm not good at this yet, but I can get better. And guess what? Many renowned individuals have acquired this development attitude. Michael Jordan, regarded one of the finest basketball players of all time, was dismissed from his high school squad. But instead of giving up, Jordan exploited that rejection as inspiration to better. Or Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, whose manuscript was rejected by 12 publishers before it was accepted. She considered each rejection as a chance to improve her craft. But don't fear, you don't need to be a sports star or a best-selling author to acquire a growth mindset. Here are some steps you may take. First, embrace difficulties instead of avoiding them. Embrace them as chances to develop. Second, learn from your errors instead of becoming frustrated. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Third, perseverance. Keep trying. Remember that effort is the road to mastery. Fourth, accept criticism. Use it as input to better, not as a personal assault. Fifth, be inspired by the success of others instead of feeling jealous. Ask yourself, what can I learn from them now? Be ready for the most exciting part. Your brain is capable of being formed and altered. This is not a cosmetic surgery, but a natural process called neuroplasticity that permits your mind to continually adapt and grow. Owing to neuroplasticity, you have the unique potential to learn new things and acquire new abilities throughout your life. Every time you learn anything new, you are essentially forming new connections in your brain. Every difficulty is a chance to develop each time you meet a difficulty. Don't be confined by rigid views. Create a growth mentality, an unwavering trust in your capacity to learn and conquer any challenge. By embracing this neuroplasticity way, you will not only overcome the present situation, but you will also increase your resilience and open doors to a future full of possibilities. Remember, your potential is unlimited. In summary, we have seen that psychology gives wonderful insights. Understanding how the human mind functions and how apparently commonplace factors may affect our lives in fundamental ways. Discovering the mysteries of the human mind is not merely an academic exercise, but a powerful instrument to enhance our lives. On this trip, we discover how our mind works and how we may leverage this knowledge to tackle obstacles, develop our relationships, and realize our full potential. These 13 psychological realities demonstrated the vast potential of the human mind and the need of maintaining a happy attitude and a mindful viewpoint to design a fuller and more balanced existence, from the enormous effect of a smile to the influence of the clothing we wear. Each psychological fact offered gives a new perspective on how our brains function and how we might utilize this information to enhance our life. Thanks for joining me. I hope these insights have been as insightful and inspirational for you as they have been for me. If you liked this article, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. The invitation is for the next episode, where we will continue our adventure into the fascinating realm of the mind and human psychology.